Hey guys, so today we're going to take a look at a few comics I picked up. Been trying to cut down, but every now and then you're in the store or you check Diamond and something interesting is coming out. I don't know how much longer we can check Diamond. I know they're in, I guess, bankruptcy proceedings, and then somebody, I think, has bought them, but it's a fluid situation. I know DC is going to be, I guess, distributed by some other company. I don't know what it means for most local stores. I'm assuming it's just a horrible headache for them. But, like when DC went over to, sheesh, what did they, because they changed their distribution to some company they owned for like a year, and then I think that must have imploded. I don't know. Anyways, to start out, this isn't strictly a comic, but I mean, it kind of is. This is, I picked up this is Final Fantasy, The Lost Stranger. It's a manga. Book one. I don't know how many volumes there are. I think at my Barnes & Noble there were like 10 or so, but they didn't have number 2, 3, or 4. Pick this up just to see if I like it. I'm currently playing Final Fantasy 1 on the Game Boy Advance, and with the Final Fantasy Magic the Gathering set, I just wanted to kind of dive into that world a little bit. So I've been enjoying FF1. Right now I'm kind of stuck. I've finished the Earth Crystal portion, and after that it's not horribly clear where you go. I even looked them up online, and they were like, well, go south from this point and you'll find a new continent. And I think I have, but I can't, there's no place to park my ship, so I'm gonna have to look into that more. But basically in this one, I guess it's like a Square Enix employee somehow gets sucked into the Final Fantasy game world. So, we'll see. That I could see that being really silly, or it could be, kind of cool to have the nostalgia of somebody from our world, in the Final Fantasy universe. We'll see. I've only really played Final Fantasy 1. I played a whole bunch of 4, but didn't finish it. I want to kind of restart that because it's been so long, I forget what's going on. I played the Final Fantasy Adventure on the original Game Boy, which I don't know if that's an original or if it's a port of something. I want to say there was only one guy in your party. It was almost, I can't remember, it's been a while. I beat that quite a few years ago. And then as far as mainline games, I played a lot of Final Fantasy VIII, but never finished that one either. So I've actually downloaded FF8 for my Xbox, and we'll see what we get with that, but wanted to give that a try, so I picked that one up. So getting in the comics, the real ones, here is, this is Crypto, the Last Dog of Krypton. Not sure what to expect with this. I mean, it looks like it's an ongoing series. It doesn't say one of something. This cover is beautiful by Jay Lee. I really like this design for the spaceship here. But it's written by Ryan North. I think he either is or was one of the people on either Superman or Action Comics. I didn't read those, but DC's doing the Summer of Superman, with the movie coming out in just a couple weeks, trying to drum up excitement Onslaught. He is very hit or miss with me, but I figured since they were having a #1 issue, it was probably an easier jumping on point than, say Action Comics or the Superman title. This is one of their variant covers. DC gets me because they put $5.99 on the variant cover, and it's just, it's basically just a nicer cover on the outside of the actual book. So under this art piece, under this, the more premium paper cover is just the regular book with the cover. I don't know. Let's see. Then we have JSA number 8. I really liked this, like, tough bruiser style cover they had of Wildcat. I haven't yet read the funeral issue or this one, but looking forward to that. I'll see how much longer I go with JSA here. But I figured, obviously it looks like it's the same storyline, so I wanted to at least finish up that story. So pick that one up. And we have this really sweet variant cover for Imperial #1, which is the new Marvel Jonathan Hickman event. I'm not really sure what to expect from that. Last time we saw Hickman, he was doing the X-Men stuff, and then that ended kind of before he was done. He's gone on to do like interviews on some podcasts where he talks about how that was kind of depressing, how his run just kind of fizzled out and he wasn't able to do what he wanted to. Kind of unsure as to what happened realistically, because he hints at scheduling issues and things, but he never comes out and says, that the X-Men editorial dropped the ball or that anybody specifically screwed it up, but obviously something happened, and he's one of their big names in a period that I feel is kind of lacking in big names, honestly, nowadays. So this is a space Marvel themed event with, people like the Imperial Guard, the Shi'ar, probably the X-Men space part, and then also things like, World War Hulk, Planet Hulk. So, I don't know if this is just supposed to be She-Hulk, like, looking more like she's from the planet Scar, or if this is supposed to be a specific character from that era. I read World War Hulk. It was a long time ago. I'm trying to remember. I think I was reading, Incredible Hercules, and then I remember him going to Scar. I don't know if I read about his time on Scar, because I don't remember if I liked the team at the time. The World War Hulk event was much more interesting to everybody than Hulk on his own, I think. So I can't remember. I know that he had like a wife there and they had a child. I don't think this is supposed to be her. I think this is just She-Hulk, but I could be wrong. Also picked up Action Comics number 1087. I mostly picked it up. It says the all-new adventures of Superboy. I figured this might be a cool jumping on point for something. Written by Mark Waid. He's been on Action Comics for a little bit now. And, Mark Waid's great at what he does, so, if they're giving him free reign to do a good Superman book, then it's going to be a good Superman book. So interested to see what this is, and if it really is a good jumping on point or not, or if it's just something that I'm going to like one and done, because Summer of Superman, and it's a cool cover. Kind of hard to tell. I do like how they have this Superboy drawing in the corner, breaking the chains. Instead of the regular Superman, he's got like some Converse on. So, the cover alone, I kind of had to pick it up and take a look. saw this on the rack, and I just thought I should, just looked interesting, so I figured I'd pick it up. Jeff Meyer and I forget his first name. Is it Tim Nguyen? The Little Gotham drawings. So I picked this one up. I guess it's about Jason Todd. It better be, right? So I'm assuming it's kind of a flashback story. And I figured I'd just, give that a try. Obviously, probably more of a limited series than anything. It doesn't say that on it. It just says #1. But I can't imagine this is an ongoing. So I figured I'd give it a swing, and if not, at this point I'm much more okay, I guess would be a good word, as far as pulling out of series before they're done. Because at this point it's I got limited room. If I'm not interested in the series after a couple issues, I'm not gonna buy it just for the sake of buying it. Let's see here, and then I picked up a few issues from the back bins, because I went in for Final Fantasy cards and they were sold out. So I was like, well, let me look through the bins. They had this Marvel Presents Guardians of the Galaxy. This is not their premiere or first appearance. This is maybe the second iteration with Starhawk. It's not the first group of Guardians, so but I think it's the first appearance of the second grouping. This was about $10, so I mean not cheap, but when I saw it in there, it was one of the few boom books in the Marvel Presents area. So I went ahead and picked that one up. And then what I did was I looked at the Legion of Superheroes area, where they had a few older books that I needed to rescue from the bin. This is #3. Jesus. Is that right? I guess so. Yeah, I guess so. I'm not sure what year this is from. Obviously, it's missing a corner here. It's got a little bit of wear and tear, but 20-cent cover price, and Superboy and the Legion are fighting this computer guy who's already literally destroying Triplicate Girl. So apparently he's already killing some of the Legion members. But there's so many, it's okay. I love these older books where it's just the cover's its own a story almost, it's you get so much just out of the front page. It's got dialogue, it's got crazy stuff going on, it's its own thing. So I like picking these up, and honestly sometimes my comic shop at least will have them for cheaper than they probably should. Let's see, I also picked up, this is Giant Adventure Comics Presents Legion of Superheroes. Obviously this one has some more wear issues because the staple's all the way this way. But apparently all these Legionnaires have died. I swear it's every front cover of these Legion books is this guy died, and this guy's getting killed, and this guy's also dead, and they're all gonna die. So interesting book here. But apparently the Lightning Lad has died, and now they're gonna bring the original Lightning Lad back to life, I guess. Craziness. Lord knows what's going on. These Legionnaires have some issues. And then last one, and this one's obviously a lot newer. This is 50 cents, so this is Bronze Age. Legion of Superheroes 269, where it's got the Legion versus the Fatal Five. I know the Emerald Empress, I know Tharok, I know this Valadas here. Not sure about the Persuader or Mano. And then let's see, God, is it Wolf Boy? Fire something. Lightning Lad. I guess that could be Saturn Girl. Yeah, I guess it is Saturn Girl. Oh, it is. Lightning Lad, yep. Saturn Girl. Wildfire, that's right. Princess Projectra and Timberwolf, along with Mon-El, the Superman stand-in, as he were. Remember when Mon-El was like a, I don't know what the initial like idea of Mon-El was, but I remember at one point it was like they tried to almost replace Superman with Mon-El, and they gave him his own in comic, and they had him running around with the Green Lanterns for a while. They don't use him as much anymore. I mean, he's basically got all of Superman's powers, but he's from a different planet, which I think is right. The planet still exists. It's not blown up, so it's not like the tragic tale. But you know, his suit is reminiscent of Superman. It's just kind of inverted, and he's just as squeaky clean. And I do like how he's doing these weird karate moves here. That makes no sense. He looks like a stiff action figure, like they drew it off of a action figure posing. And then last but not least, speaking of action figures, I was at Target and saw this. So this is the McFarlane Superpowers line, and it's the new Superman suit. And you know, they didn't do all these lines with the padding like in the illustration here, but it is the new crest and you know, the kind of the pulled up pants. And this cape is a little bit more up than it almost looks like a Doctor Strange cape. So they had a few of the characters from the movie. They had the Guy Gardner. I think they had Metamorpho and Mr. Terrific, and whoever this bad guy is. Ultraman. Okay. That Ultraman like evil Superman, or that's weird, huh? That could be a spoiler. I don't know. That's weird. Right now they have the Fortress of Solitude and Mr. Terrific's T-Craft at Target. A lot of them. I had yet to see these figures, so when I saw the new Superman suit in this form, I thought it was worth, you know, grabbing. Honestly, they did a good job. I mean, I have my old Superpowers figures from when I was little, and these are, I want to say they are a little chunkier. The plastic's probably not hollow or like it was in the 80s, but you know, it's spot on. Like the articulation's basically exactly the same. I have my original Superman and my original Batman, Hawkman, Green Lanterns, Flash. I got all those guys. My biggest thing was when I was a kid, I hated these cloth capes. So what I would do is I would immediately chuck the cloth cape, which now, looking back on it, I feel like an idiot because my Batman has no cape, my Superman has no cape, my Dr. Fate, all these characters with capes, and I've, you know, tossed the cape. So, yeah, stupid in hindsight. I did pick up, did I show you guys these? Hold on. I have these close by. I did pick up this Japanese Batman from the same toy line. I kind of like his outlines here. He's got these really exaggerated eyebrows and these lines around his gloves and boots, and he's more like a grayed out, you know, look to him. So I picked up that one. And I also picked up this Jay Garrick Flash. thought that was cool. So I guess now I've got a collection of 3. Not sure if I'll keep this Superman in the box per se, because I found this box key art that they've done. It's like they're trying to get the corn sweat look, but it looks kind of silly. They also had a really big, the vinyl statues they have now. They had a large one of corn sweat Superman. It looked decent. I would say it was lacking detail in a lot of ways. It was just very flat feeling, in comparison to the other McFarlane vinyls where, there's dynamic shading and stuff. Like this just was a very flat, paint application. I wasn't blown away. It was like, oh, that's a cool, collectible, but it wasn't as cool as I was hoping. I remember when Brandon Routh's Superman Returns came out, they had some, neat, kind of vinyl collectible type things. They had one where he was standing in front of a brick wall with all these bullets, and they're bouncing off him, and they're on the ground, and they're in the wall. It looked like perfectly like him. I used to have some of those. I don't know honestly if I still have them. Might be in the garage, but so far the corn sweat. I'm hopeful for the movie, but the merchandise has not been blowing me away. So, but that's it for today, guys. I hope you guys have a good one, and I'll see you next.